Paul, good morning. How you doing, friend?
Doing great. Just another predictable weekend is over, but that was a good one. But Matt, the one we have coming up might be one of the best we've had in a long time.
Oh, I mean, we're going to get to that because there are three matchups that just make my college football rage. Okay, so what were your thoughts? We'll get into the games like we always do, but just big picture, there were enough games on Saturday to kind of get you excited. But man, was it me or they were just all kind of okay? Everything was kind of just Auburn and Oklahoma at one point. Well, you know what? Here I go on my Sunday morning tangent. Forget what I'm about to do. Let's go to this. Because to me, this is the biggest story now that I was going to ask you about Auburn and Oklahoma. An hour after the game, or an hour or so after, the SEC comes out and says that a touchdown that Oklahoma scored should not have been counted as a touchdown, but in fact should have been a 15-yard penalty. Okay. So not only did they butcher the scoop and score, they do this. Let's dive in there first. What do you make of this SEC officiating issue?
Yeah, I was out there, and when one thing I like about transparency is that it shows that you know what the rules are and you're not trying to obfuscate. That's what I like about it. The bad part, Matt, is Auburn fans are besides themselves. And how else should they be? It takes a little bit away from some of the ineptitude of in decision making, and also just an absolutely miserable offensive performance. But unfortunately, and I know I'm bouncing around here, we have to live with this, and we can spend the rest of our lives analyzing officiating. But is that what we really want to do?
No, all right. I'm trying to figure out how to put this because
Go for it.
I'm with you, but what? Okay, so I mean, Paul, let's think about this. That's 14 points off the board.
Yeah.
Well, what's the final score at that point? If you're Auburn, how are you not sitting here going, well, what the hell do you mean? You take 14 points away from Oklahoma, it's 17-10. Auburn wins.
Yeah, it was bad enough if you're an Auburn fan that you had a bad beat in the final minute of the game. I mean, you're going to lose the game, but you're going to win the bet, which isn't, it's not the perfect ending, but at least it's a better ending. And now everything goes away. I mean, it could not have been a worse weekend. And I'm in Birmingham today reading some of the reaction from the media, and I mean, they're piling on Hugh Freeze, which is understandable, but here's in the moment, this is it feels outrageous.
Yeah.
But a week from now, it won't make any difference, and it's really, and I'm not defending the SEC. I mean, officiating is terrible everywhere. I think we could. The only thing I like about the ACC is at least we hear it in real time.
Right, they allow you into their command center, operations center, so that there is full transparency there. But as for the game, look, I cannot remember the last time where I watched what I believed to be a high-level offense and quarterback look so disheveled. He was sacked 10 times, Oklahoma program record. At least 8 players for the Sooners had a half sack. I never had trust that the ball was going to move. I was like, here we go. Like, it was bad.
Yeah, and I was with Brian Bosworth early yesterday morning, so maybe that was the precursor for the day that it was going to be a old Oklahoma defense. I mean, it was truly remarkable, and I think a lot of people, once you get over, if you're an Auburn fan, and I feel badly, and I don't think you can help but feel badly, but ultimately, you have another game. And I'll let them scream and holler all they want. But the problem for Auburn is how are they going to dig themselves out of this, especially with potentially a tougher game coming up against Texas A&M.
Yeah, and look, I think Hugh Freeze is really, really good offensive mind. I believed in Jackson Arnold, but the missed throws he had yesterday, he had Cam wide open for a touchdown that would have just swung the momentum. And even with that, Paul, they grabbed the lead late, and Tier had to take Oklahoma down the field for a go-ahead touchdown. So it wasn't like they weren't in the game. It was just a weird game to watch. It's the only way I can say it. Weird game to watch. And now here we are the morning after, and I need to ask you, true or false, Oklahoma is a legitimate SEC contender on September 21st.
I am not going to be a prisoner of the moment, and I'm going to say false, Matt. I just, everything we've already talked about, their defense is elite, but let's give Auburn's defense some credit too. They kept their woeful offense in the game, and whether the officials should receive a credit or not, but ultimately, I don't think Oklahoma is one of the two best teams in the SEC. And part of the reason I don't think they'll end up getting there is their schedule. They have a Florida-like schedule, and they have not seen any. And Michigan and Auburn are in the middle of the schedule. I mean, they're going to Tennessee later. They're going a number of places, including Alabama. They have LSU later in the season. How do they survive that?
Yeah, in fact, I asked the same question to Joey Galloway last night in studio, and he did the same thing you did, run up the schedule. They have Kent State next week, or in 2 weeks. They have a bye week, so lay up there. But then they do Texas, at South Carolina, which now with the Gamecocks losing to Missouri. Then they go Ole Miss. This is the final 5 weeks. Ready for this? Ole Miss, Tennessee, Alabama, Missouri, LSU.
Matt, the vibe out there and talking to Venables and everyone, they had to win that game just to keep momentum going because Venables has been tossed and turned with his status. He's out of that, but I've had a lot of questions even today about this issue, and I'm not being a hater. I just don't believe yet that they are a legitimate SEC title contender.
Right. You look at that schedule and you're thinking, oh hell, this is going to get dicey for the last month of the season. But they'll get another win this week or in a couple of weeks, get the bye week, and then we'll be able to assess Oklahoma as we sit here every Sunday morning.
You want this, you got that. Don't wait, watch them walk right past you. Run fast while you have the chance. Don't speak, let them look right at you.